I've got to keep in some sort of touch with all the loose ends of this dizzy affair if, well, we're going to make heads or tails of it.
We're going to devote our energies to sports and gardening, all the cultural pursuits as far as they're concerned. In fact, we're going to put the goons to sleep. Meanwhile, we dig.
Greetings and welcome to The Anadromous. This is Byrne Power, your host du jour, and always, I suppose. It would be interesting to have another host, but where is that person going to be found? I'm nearing 2,000 subscribers, and that seems like another little milestone. And it seems like it's taken longer to get the second 2,000 than it did to get the first 2,000 than it did to get the first 1,000. Well, I'm not going to do every 1,000. I think the next one will be 5,000. Seems like an appropriate mark. I mean, what's 3 and 4,000? They're just numbers. So we'll wait for the big 50. Hopefully that'll come. I would like to welcome all of those who came as a result of my discussion with Jonathan Peugeot. Some people were wondering why I talked so much at the beginning. And the answer to that question is, I thought I was being interviewed. And then there were certain topics I suspected he didn't really want to talk about that I just blithely went on. And when I heard it back, I was like, okay, Byrne, you're talking too much. Hey, it was a good discussion. The hour at the end. So, the first half hour or so, whatever. It's still important that you understand what we're going through here in Tbilisi, Georgia. But some people were a little put out by that, which is fine. You can't do everything perfectly all the time, but a bunch of new subscribers did show up. Evidently, they liked some of the things they found on the channel, and welcome to all of you. So it's time to put out a call for more questions, and I'll try to answer them. So we'll have a Q&A session to celebrate when I get to 2,000, which should be shortly. I think I've got only, 20 more subscribers to get to. That could be you if you've stumbled into this short video. Generally, the short videos like this, they get about 200-300 views compared to 2,000 for the next How We Got Here series, which I teased you with the prologue to it. And that will be coming up soon. Hopefully I can get it done before I leave on a vacation, a mini vacation, 4 days, where I'm going to the cave city of Vardzia. Maybe I'll show you a picture of that here from my last trip. But the nice thing about that is I also get to spend time with the Maserati, it's not a Maserati, the Maizeradze family, who treated me very well while I was there. They gave me all their homemade materials. I'm going to get many more images of their garden. And they fed me with homemade food, and they sang for me, what more can you want? Because I'm expecting more people to send in their questions, I'm not going to answer everyone. So make your questions good. If you just have some simple question like, when are you going to do this, Byrne? I might answer that. But if it's a question that's been answered many times before, questions like, so Byrne, when are you going to become Orthodox? I say that because I know Jonathan's viewers. You might check out some of the older Q&As to find out my answers to those questions. I might give a more full treatment on that later, but not in this particular Q&A. I will take cultural questions, artistic questions, musical questions, philosophic questions, even some theological questions, moral questions, practical questions, like, what do we do now kind of questions. I'm basically getting ready to answer more questions to some of the very dire dilemmas that I've posed. But I'm waiting to finish up my How We Got Here series for the foreseeable future. One of the things that's been so hard about this one is how close the events are to 2020. And I'm kind of glad I waited 2 years to do this, or at least a year and a half after the end of of 2020, because you can't really discuss the history when you're in the thick of it. That is just almost impossible. So much has changed in our interpretation of things since then that I feel a little bit more confident now of what I'm doing. And I think that's partly what I've been waiting for, is just to let some stuff settle. And I do notice, and I did get a few comments like this, people will, you throw something like that out there, and then everyone throws their pet theory about, who's to blame, what happened, and all this, to which I'm not interested. I'm not interested in pet theories. I'm interested in what we actually have some idea about, what we can actually know, and not theories. Theories don't interest me. What actually happened interests me. And so I collect videos. I download them all the time about things. And when I start noticing certain trends show up, then I stop with certain ideas. Because, okay, we've got that. You all think it's a bunch of, shall we say, nonsense, to use the British term, behind the upper reaches of power, and they're doing everything. And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, why don't you give me another Illuminati? So, but we will discuss that theory as a theory. That is to say, I'm not going to discuss any of that as a fact when I get to 2020, because that became very important to get to the 6th of January. Which is where we will end 2020, because my feeling is it ends with the 6th of January. That's the end of 2020. That and Biden's inauguration. And then starts whatever this is. So no political questions, though. I don't want to see any political questions. Don't want any conspiracy questions. No. If I see it, I'm just I'm sorry, no, I can't do it. Nor am I going to take any, is this the last times questions. It's always the last times. That's the end of my statement. Yeah, I can do it. I can break down stuff in the book of Revelations and, Ezekiel, Daniel, whatever. But here's the point. My method of interpreting it, following John Sandry, if you've seen those videos I did of his method, is you can't jumble verses together. It said in Matthew 25 this, and then it said, 23. It said this here in Revelation, which goes with what's said in Daniel. I hate that kind of interpretation because it's there's always a conspiracy involved in putting that kind of stuff together. So no end times questions either. But if you do want to know what I actually think about what's happening here in Georgia, the politics and the war and things like that, the answer to that question is not going to be on this channel. It's going to be on my Georgian Crossroads channel, and I'm soon going to do an update on what life has been like post-invasion. So if you want that, go subscribe to my Georgian Crossroads channel. That's where you'll get that information. I'm not going to deal with it so much on this channel. This channel is for ideas. Georgian Crossroads is for my life here and for travels. My Gravity from Above channel is for documents related primarily to cultural things related to dancing, theater, puppetry, puppet movies, things like that. I'll cover more music-related things on this channel. If you wonder, what's the deal with Byrne and the puppets and all of this? That's where you'll find more answers. So, subscribe to Georgian Crossroads. Go check out Gravity from Above. There's some very interesting interviews over there. And if you want to ask the questions, you can ask them in the comment section. If you're too far away from the comment section when you read this, you can do it. You can send me a DM over on Twitter and a PM over on Facebook, but not on my Facebook, my actual profile page. Go to the Anadromous Life page, and that's where you can send a question here. If I don't want to get a lot of people clogging up I don't want people clogging up my personal messages. I prefer the personal message to the direct message. The direct message feels like it's more like it got some sort of stinger on it. But the personal message feels personal. Not private, but personal. But anyway, the links for all those are below. Update on the container. Oh my. I'm just going to say this. I'm now running into custom stuff. If I was made out of money, all of this would be nothing. The increased container prices because of the insanity of shipping right now globally, which isn't so bad, but then there's customs here, which looks like they're going to take in some rather unholy amount. If you realize how much stuff I have, and then realize that there's someone who wants to tax it all, you'll realize what I'm up against. And this could just defeat me, quite frankly, because I have to go talk to the people at the tax office, and if they haven't got it, if they can't help me bring it in some sort of manageable amount of money, which still will be thousands of dollars most likely, I'm done. I'm going to have to figure something else out with my life. All the stuff in Alaska needs to be here. Either that or I need to be where it is, because that's what I've been doing for my whole life. And, it raises questions, but we're not going to get into that now. I'm going to wait until I talk with the tax people, tax revenue, customs people, and see what I can really expect. Stay tuned. Okay, so you can share and subscribe. I don't know if this video is something you want to like. You can. It helps the algorithms, but who cares? It's a couple of minutes long. It doesn't really matter. But just to let you know, you can contribute to help me making videos, keep these things flowing. And for one reason, here's what the dollar to the Georgian lari has become. And a couple of months ago, $1 was 3 lari and 40 tetri. Tetri is like cents, obviously. Now it's $1 equals 2 lari and 85 tetri, which is like, wait, what's going on? I have the feeling it'll eventually bounce back the other way. And what's weird is the dollar is up against the euro, up against the pound, way up against the Canadian dollar. But for some reason, the Georgian currency is getting stronger. I have no idea why. I can't see a reason why. It could all be some sort of artificial inflation. Anyway, I'm done. Send a question. Don't make it ridiculous. Put some thought into it. What do you really want me to answer? Those kind of questions are going to go to the top of the pool. The other ones, the simple, what do you think of this, Byrne questions, it's going to drop. You need to think about how to ask questions. If you don't know how, I've got videos on how to ask questions. And this is only going to be active for about a week. So, or less. Depends on how many questions I get. If I get a whole bunch of questions, like if I get 50 questions, I'm not going to answer 50 questions, but I'll pick the best of those and I will temporarily shut this video down. Meanwhile, I hope your life is good. My life is good. I got up early at 7 this morning, walked around the park, up in the mountains, went and did some shopping, and then came back and had a great breakfast. So life is good. Now, if I can just get my stuff here. From Tbilisi, this is Byrne. Okay, you get it. I'm Byrne. Bye.
A people without history is not redeemed from time. For history is a pattern of timeless moments.